Oh, Judge is so batty. London traffic. Oh, I'm running late again. This is a really important data privacy, don't know. Really important case anyway. It's going to be huge fines dished out. People from all across London. Key figures, key stakeholders from finance, energy, multimedia, the whole lot, all going down for a long stretch. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my court.
Google announced this week on Monday that they are collecting via Alexa the voice data, and they do not even know what they do with it. That means if you're all going to retire, they still know what you have talked about 20, 30 years ago. And then Amazon this week, what are they doing now? They are now getting a bank. Why do they get a bank? They want to play with the children, so they don't have a bank account. That's the reason. Number two, they are building a health system now. Why? They want to go around the existing health system. And now think about that on personal behavior, including your health, including your social surroundings, including all what you think about. This is distributed and you give it for free. And if I go to Martin now and say, give me $10 or 10 euros or 10 pounds, he will say, what? So that's the old analog world. So he has trained that he doesn't give me for free 10 pounds. But why do you give the data for free?
He looks so innocent and cute. Teddy, introduce yourself.
Hallo, ich bin ein smarter Teddy. Das FBI wartet hier.
So he said, hello, I'm a smart Teddy. The FBI wants parents to use me. Why? Teddy, is your room? Yes, the text you have just heard comes from the internet. It is transferred via internet. And this can be done by the parents, which is good, but it can also be done by some bad guys. And the child loves his Teddy and trusts him and does what the Teddy says. And the FBI says this is very dangerous. It is, the FBI says wordly, this could put the privacy and safety of children at risk. The GDPR has a special article in protecting children, that's Article 8, so the Teddy is also a bit critical in the area of GDPR. People say it is designed with smoke sensor, okay, this is okay, with loudspeaker, okay, integrated microphone, thermosensor, motion detector, CO sensor, smoke sensor, okay, moisture meter and camera. We at TÜV Rheinland opened it and looked for a camera. And I was sure this is not possible because these smart holes are too small for the lens of the camera. And indeed, there is no camera behind these holes. We found the camera. It is behind this plastic knob. The plastic knob is a Fresnel lens, and the camera is an infrared camera. And watching.
So before we get going, I forgot to introduce Danny Burge over here, who is our illustrator for the evening. When any conversations or questions are asked, he illustrates the questions, and we'll be putting them up around the room as we finish these next things, right? These are our notes, because I hate taking minutes and stuff like that, right?
You need someone to go in and grab the attention of the board. You know what board directors are like? I want 3 options on a PowerPoint. One's difficult, one's expensive. Guess what? I'll pick the third one. But you need a DPO that can take an Excel spreadsheet with 1,000 pages, red, amber, green tags on it, and turn that risk management report into those 3 PowerPoint options. If you don't do that, you've lost the room. So that's the type of person you need. So think about who is going to be your leadership person on GDPR. That's the type of person you need to have. And get the buy-in from senior management. Tell them that it's the right thing to do. You need to have transparent, clearly written in English policies that your staff understand. Train them. Think outside the box. We train people in companies on how to be safe online when you're doing homework with their kids. or how to set up a smartphone. You use Google Maps to come here. How many people use Google Maps? Google Maps records every journey that you take, whether you use Google Maps or not, whether or not you're connected to the internet. You go into a shopping centre, you give your email address, it scrapes Bluetooth from your phone, and it sells that data. It says to the tenants, teenagers congregate here, that's where your Claire's accessories go. Grey-haired bill payers congregate here, that's where you put your Cafe Nero and your Starbucks. If you don't believe me, check the T's and C's. They all reserve the right to do it, and they all do it. Think about, as an in-house lawyer, I often used to get asked the question, can I do this? Is this legal? Is there any law that stops me doing this? Okay? That's the type of questions I've been having about GDPR. The right question is a different one, is should I do this?
The definitions in the GDPR itself, and indeed in the bill, currently as drafted, and this is one of the bits I'll be putting into the written evidence, is that you should try and authenticate as far as possible. That sounds like a good place to start. So the ICO come round, you've had a breach, and you gave other people's data away. And why did you do that? Well, they said it was, Andrew said he was Mike. And how did you check? Well, I asked him, say, are you sure? And he said yes. He said, do you promise? And he said yes. And therefore I gave him all of Mike's data. Obviously that's a breach of GDPR. Now we also have a number of other interesting issues on GDPR, particularly on that sort of subject access request and authentication. When you come to the right to be forgotten, as it's normally called, right of erasure more technically, because obviously if I were advising, and this is probably why Tony didn't want to take this piece, because obviously this is not a legal argument, and this is not advice in any way, shape or form, I would completely caveat this. If I was an organisation and somebody wrote in to me and said, I'd like you to forget me, I'd just write back and say, sure mate, have done. Because obviously they have a right to come back and ask me to prove it, but, well, I'll pick on you again, Mike. So Mike sends me an email and says, I would like you to, I don't want a relationship with your organisation anymore, please forget me. I say, sure Mike, have done. A couple of weeks later, he's not sure I probably was taking it seriously, so he comes back and says, now, you have to prove you've forgotten me. I go, who are you? And he goes, I'm Mike. And I asked you last week to forget me. So, did you? I'm sorry, you're going to have to prove you're Mike. Otherwise, I can't tell you whether I've forgotten Mike, because Mike might not like me telling someone I've forgotten Mike. And he can't prove he's Mike, because I don't have any evidence that he is Mike, because I've forgotten him.